Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sandra Lanch podcast. This week, we read chapters 111 through Interlude 14 of Oathbringer, Book 3 of the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. And we're going to talk about those. I realized that the numbering there does not make it super clear. We read 3 chapters and 3 interludes. So 111, 112, 113, and then 3 interludes. In those chapters, we wrap up part 4 with everything looking bad. Things are looking bad for Kaladin and company. Things are looking bad for Dalinar. Things are looking bad for the Alliance. It's not good. And then in the interludes, I don't know how to say things are looking for Venli. Things are looking interesting for Venli. Maybe that's the way to say it. And we get what I think is a very cool one with Risen and or Ryzen. I just don't know how you would say her name. That's kind of a exciting adventure one for me. And then things go badly for Teft, and it's gosh, that's sad. Anyway, I'm Data, and with me today is
Joe
and Dak.
So hang on to something, everybody. The Sanderlanch is about to begin.
Yearnings intertwined, the golden age in ashes once again. Under stirring stars, in the burning shards, kindle fragments of the falling rain. So look to the break of dawn, to the break of dawn. Stronger together now.
Before we get started, I just wanted to make sure everyone knows we've mentioned it a couple times in the previous 2 episodes, but we have determined that what with next week, I'm going to be at the convention. And for most of the rest of December, we've got holiday stuff going on. There wasn't really much, if any, time that we could get together to record. So we're going to take a 4-week break after this episode. Assuming that I get, because I'm going to go to the convention when I would normally be editing this episode. Assuming I edit this one in time, it'll be a 4-week break after this episode. If there was a 1-week break before this episode, then there should be a 3-week break after this episode. So you guys know better than I do about this point for certain how long the upcoming break will be. But we're going to take a break recording in December for 4 weeks. And so there will be 4 weeks total where there are no episodes. And then we'll try to finish the book coming into the new year. I want to put that up front just so everyone was aware. There wouldn't be any surprises except for the one surprise that I just mentioned. But we also, as you may have noticed, do not have Jaymee this week. She's already gotten busy with things happening. So Dak and Joe are here, and we read 6 chapters. So what did you guys think of these 6 chapters?
Yeah, I'll start by saying, if you're in the future and you're listening to this way after December time, you may not notice we took a break because we may already have another episode out. So for those people listening to the future, what up? Anyway, these chapters were, like you said, I think you kind of said it. They're kind of a downer. Also, I hate to be nitpicky here, but for the end of a part, kind of anticlimactic as well. It was like, I mean, sure, some stuff happened. It's like, oh no, we found out some really interesting things, like that humanity, which, knowing what we know about the Cosmere, humanity came to Roshar and they weren't originally on this planet. Understandable, makes sense to us who have a larger perspective of the overall universe. So very interesting revelation for sure. Taravangian's finally making like some plays to do some Taravangian stuff. So definitely interesting. I feel like the Kaladin stuff is very like, oh yeah, we made it, and now there's an abrupt ending because there's a bunch of enemies here. And I was like, okay, well. And then Dalinar having to deal with kind of the fallout a little bit after that. And the interludes, I mean, we've got Venli, realizing, oh, we're gearing up for this war. And then I never know how to say her name, but the second character, it's kind of a bummer. It's like, oh yeah, the last time we saw this character, she was having fun adventures. And it's like, oh yeah, remember that fun adventure she was on? That crippled her. It's like, oh, that sucks. It's kind of a downer to read even that part. There was the fact that this thief was in the vault. Definitely interesting. Also interesting to me that these events are taking place so close to the main characters at this point. And then Teft, yeah, it's just sad, right? Teft Teft is going through some stuff. He's been going through some stuff, and because of what he's been going through, he's caused the honor blade to be stolen and his friends to be hurt, possibly killed. So it's bad stuff for sure. So kind of a downer ending to the part. Also, the interludes aren't looking great either. But also, like I said, a little anticlimactic. I was like, oh, there's no like big thing that happens other than this like revelation about humanity. Which I guess maybe in like if we hadn't read as much about the Cosmere as we have, maybe that would be more of a shocker to our first time reader. It's like, oh man, that is crazy. But for me, it's like, oh, I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense. So, but yeah, I mean, good chapters. I'm ready to get into this next part because we're slowly closing in on the end of the book. So, I mean, I'm ready to get to that point so we can kind of figure out like, okay, what's going to be the payoff for this book? You know, we've got like 15% more of the book left. So I want to see kind of what the payoff is.
Yep, we are getting close to it. Like you say, we've got part 5, and I think part 5 is the shortest part by far in the books. So I would also say, while you were talking, because it has bugged me as well, obviously I've mentioned it, I went and looked up how you're supposed to pronounce risen, and the consensus seems to be it's like risen, like he has risen sort of thing.
Interesting.
So I will try to remember that and pronounce it that way from now on. But no, you have a really good point that from our perspective, we know there's lots of humans in the Cosmere. So knowing like, oh, humans aren't originally from here, like it's not a shocker for the people who live here and don't know anything about other planets. They're like, wait a second, what? And I think it may also be more that they have discovered, oh, we stole this land from someone else, and these people we've been fighting off all this time, that's them trying to take their homes back. So
Yeah.
that makes us feel a whole different sort of way about this war.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. At the same time, I get it, but it's like, I guess the more interesting question to me then is like, if humanity's not originally from Roshar, they weren't created on Roshar. Does that mean all forms, like the Thelena, the Makabaki, the Alethi, the Shin, because they all have pretty different like physical characteristics, and so I guess like my question is, what is the origin of each of those different types of people? Are they all just like humanoid descendants, or are some of them from different planets and they all converged here? Like, what's kind of the deal with that?
So one thing that we have learned from, I think it's from Brandon saying it, is that certain strains of humanity on here, such as the Horn Eaters and the Herdazians, are on some level a result of interbreeding between the humans and the native, I guess the Parshendi species. And you can see in, the Parshendi have carapace, or the singers, whatever they call themselves. That developed in the Herdazians, they have super hard fingernails, like crystal almost, and the Horny have stronger teeth. That's why they can crunch horns and shells and stuff. So, like, that's the kind of thing that you see coming through from that.
Weird. Yeah. Again, it's like, that's interesting, but it's like, how did like the other characteristics of the races come through then? Or is it also like Parshman breeding, like interbreeding? And how have the Parshmen changed over the last, 4,000 years or whatever? Have their race changed quite a bit? Because it would make sense if they were closer to like what we would consider human-like in the past, and then that interbreeding through generations led to different characteristics in humanoid type people. That would make sense. But I wonder like how and the Parshmen are kind of an interesting group, right? Because they physically change based on bonds with Spren, like their bodies physically change. So it's like how much of that plays a factor into how quickly their race of people like evolves, changes physically. Definitely be interested to know like biologically how all that works.
Yeah, that's a good point. Stuff is very different, and we don't know. Yeah, I mean, we can't see back thousands of years ago and figure out what things look like at the beginning. Maybe that'll be a flashback. Someday we'll have a flashback of somebody from thousands of years ago.
Yeah, I will agree. I think Kaladin's one is kind of just like, we made it, and there's an army there. Brilliant. That's how we started this part. We got out and there was an army there. So cool. We come full circle there. I'll come back to the Dalinar bit. Interludes I really liked. Like, they were downers as they were. I thought Risen's story was pretty interesting, depressing as hell because her wild adventure, she lost the use of her legs and now she's just an accountant basically. So that was kind of sad. But she got her badass moment against the against the fused invader in the vault. So that was pretty neat. Teft, depressing, but also like now that we've seen, the fused are infiltrating stuff and using their own, what is it, light weaving?
I mean, it looked like light weaving for sure.
Oh yeah, I was just making sure. I couldn't remember if that was the name for some reason. I thought it was something else. Yeah, so that was all interesting stuff. I'm like, okay, the fused, they've got other plans in place. They are infiltrating, doing spycraft and stuff. They're not just like the armies at the gates. So that's something we haven't really seen from them before now. So interesting. Want to see more. Yeah, so the Dalinar stuff, Taravangian making his play, very interesting, very cool to see him making his move, and the revelation that humanity is not native to the planet. It's like on some level, I sort of agree with what Joe was saying. We know the Cosmere, we know that people were put on these planets by gods and such. So it's in that sense, it's not that much of a shock, but in another sense, like all the other ones we've seen, at least to the best of our knowledge, the shards found planets and just created everything that was there. This is the first time I think we've really seen, oh no, we just found a planet that already supported life and just crowbarred the humans in there. I don't quite know like the implications of that. That kind of blew my mind a bit because like that the humans are the invading aliens and it just makes me think, holy shit, Stormlight all this time is just a full novel-length adaptation of that one Futurama episode with the balls, where the humans are the evil invading aliens.
True. Yep.
Yeah, it's just okay, yeah, they Jesus, like they've just come to take over the planet and they didn't realize it the whole time. So like Leela is, I assume, would be Kaladin because she's the most competent one. Even down to the army, you've got like the grizzled soldier is Teft, and you got that southern fried yokel who's really upbeat. That's the Lopen. Yeah, it all fits.
They want to do rolling of the third type. Yeah.
I mean, if any of the fuse come out and start talking about bouncing, like, gonna lose my shit.
Then he bounced 4 meters in the air.
Our people tell the same story. Or no, what does he say it?
I just love the newspaper headline: "Balls thoroughly licked."
Yep. Like that. That's entirely what this story is. It's just like all this time. It's like, oh, humanity is actually the evil invading aliens.
What jerks? Freaking humanity, am I right?
Yep.
Does that make like Yezrian, King of the Heralds, Zap Brannigan?
No, in my head it was like Nixon was Book 1 Elakar, Zap was Sadius, and Kif, because Kif went through that jerk phase towards Fry, Kif was Amaram.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's actually kind of funny because, and I think you guys mentioned it early on, but it sticks out to me. Somebody asked Brandon at like a Q&A or something where it's like all the stuff on Roshar, you got the crabs, you got the plants that like lay down in front of storms, all of these, even the Rashadium horses that are these huge like muscular things, they're all designed almost by evolution to weather these giant storms and the horrible conditions on Roshar. Meanwhile, we're told specifically that regular horses do well in Shinovar, and you have to get them from there basically because they're not good or the rest of the world's a little tough on them. And somebody pointed out to Brandon, I don't remember if it was just horses or if it was also like humans, but it's just like they don't seem very well evolved to live on Roshar. And Brandon's just like, yeah, they don't, do they? This is intentional. And so, yeah, it's all crabs except for the humans and a few other species. And now we maybe know why, because the humans did not evolve on this planet.
Yep, they were not born under the sea.
No crab I mean, there's already crab people. So
yeah, even the sturgeon and the ray.
That was the other thing. Zoidberg is the crab helping the humans, so that's Relaine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Nice. Hey, we haven't seen Relaine in a while.
I
I haven't
guess
seen
that's
much of Bridge
true.
4 in a while.
We saw
Like,
Bridge
we
4 a
s-
little bit this time out, but
Yeah.
we saw a bit of theft. Well, shit, the fake out where we thought, is Rock dead? For like all of 2 sentences, and they said, no, he's alive. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
Who
would
cares
be-
about those? Who cares about those other two guys? I was like, Rock!
Yeah.
that would have been a hell of a thing if like they kill Rock basically off page.
That would have been a Dachshund level waste of a character.
Yeah. Especially like after he's been reunited with his family. Like things are looking up for Rock, and then it's like, oh, he's dead.
Okay, thanks, die.
But now we have his kid here. It's just younger, hipper Rock to take his place.
You will call me Pebble. No, chip off the old Rock.
No, he said. Did he say
Call
that
him
one of his kids was named Rock, but it was a different kind of rock, or was it one of them was named a shell, but it was a different kind of shell from what the other one was named? I forget
That
exactly.
That sounds familiar, but it was also like 6 months ago,
Yeah, it's been a while.
and we haven't seen him since.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Well, okay. I guess let's get into these chapters, and we can hit these things as we get there. Isla Stellae is chapter 111, and the epigraph is like, okay, so look, I've only found the names of these 8 unmade. Everyone seems pretty sure there's 9. It's this unholy asymmetrical number associated with the enemy, but we don't get what the 9th one is.
Is that
At
like
least not.
is that a shout out to the Nazgul? The
Ah,
9.
That does sound kind of like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'd never considered that before. The Sauron's going to show up.
I mean, Odium's effectively Sauron.
Yeah,
Odium was Sauron all along.
Yeah. The all-seeing Odium.
If Odium shows up as a big flaming eye, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Brandon. What are you doing?
Going to Mount Doom.
So, I don't know if you guys remembered where Amaram had been all this time.
I tried not to.
Yeah, try not to think about that douche.
Yeah.
But we
Well, like, I know you're about to say it, but I like the one thing Jaymee specifically said she wanted to note in this episode was the opening line of this chapter was one of the funniest she's ever read.
the man he wanted to punch the most in all of Roshar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie loved it. She's like, that's fucking great.
He's
I
not the
did
only
think
one who
it was
feels that way. So.
Yeah, I did think it was funny, but I also thought, it's kind of out of character for Dalinar.
Hey, it's not like he's
Yeah,
going to do it.
That's like a
That thought
Kaladin
could cross my
thing.
mind.
Yeah, that's like definitely inside Kaladin's head, not Dalinar's head.
Dalinar's allowed to feel a way about him. It's just he doesn't.
No,
he
you're
doesn't do it.
right, but we're just not used to that. Like, I don't.
I think it's just the way it's phrased. It's very blunt.
Yes, and it's also a little immature sounding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like young Dalinar.
Yeah,
Young
No, I do
Dalinar
like-
would have just punched him already.
yeah, young. It's like young Dalinar's like controlling himself. He's like, oh, look at this a-hole. I want to punch him. It's really bad.
But yes, we meet Meridus Amaram as Dalinar arrives in Thaylen City.
Keep forgetting his name is Meridus.
Yeah, what a
Alright.
stupid name.
And Amaram is pissy because, and he's actually Amaram Sadius now, but whatever.
Ugh.
So the Sadius troops got sent here to clean up the debris from the storms out there by the walls because the city was very badly damaged in the Everstorm. And Dalinar kept trying to be like, hey, let us send some troops to help you clean up as a show of our good faith. And they kept saying no. And finally they said yes. And the Sadius troops were causing trouble. So it was like, hey, here's a good chance to get them out of the way for a little bit.
Yeah, I love that note. It's like yeah, we can get rid of Sadius guys, get them the fuck out of here somewhere unimportant. And then it's like, oh, that's actually where the fused are coming for. And it's like, fuck me.
And Amaram makes a report that they've made all this progress. And Dalinar's like, yeah, you guys have done a good job. And Amaram goes, okay, so can our penance be over now?
Shut up.
This entitled fucking douchebag.
Dalinar tries to
Yeah.
explain to him, like, no, the stuff you are doing here is important. We need these people to trust us. And Aram's like, okay, I do see the tactical importance of knowing the enemy's fortifications. And Dalinar's like, oh my gosh, no.
They're not enemies, a-hole.
And when he says that, Amaram's like, oh, of course, wink, I misspoke. But I can't help notice that your troops are on the border between our kingdom and Yakaved, and they're going to get to liberate our homeland while we're out here digging up rocks. It's really bad for my people's morale, especially since a lot of them still think you assassinated their high prince. And Dalinar's over like, well, I hope that their current leader is disabusing them of that notion. And Amaram does not say that he is. He's just like, hey, I'm a realist. I get it. Even if you did kill him, which I know you can't tell me that you did, he deserved it, okay?
Oh
I
my
would just
gosh.
respect you for it.
This fucking guy. It's like, now that it's out in the open how much of an asshole he is, every line out of his mouth is just designed to make us hate him.
Yeah. And really, he's just like, I want to fight. I want to like help our people. And Dalinar came here to tell him, hey, this is where the battle's going to take place. You guys are going to be on the front lines. And he gets so pissed off by Amaram's bullshit that he doesn't even tell him that part. He's just
Yeah.
like, enough. Follow your fucking orders, okay?
I don't like you anymore. Remember that thing I was going to tell you? No, I can tell you now. What thing? Don't worry about it.
When the enemy shows up, you're gonna get surprised, okay? Screw you. And then after Amaram leaves, you got Teft over here like, permission to stab him a little, sir? And he's like, how do you stab someone a little? And I love that Lynn is here. She's part of the crew now. We saw her draw in Stormlight and stuff before, so she's one of us, part of Bridge 4. She's like, I could stab him. I've just started training with the spear. We could pretend it was an accident.
Oh, no.
I love how ride or die she is already. Like, stab some High Lord? 100%, I'm on board.
Why would I not?
Yeah, it's like, what does she know about Amaram? Has she gotten all the stories over the cookpot? Also, it's like, as much as I enjoy the idea of like, oh yeah, we should just stab him, it's like, that's actually how we got him as a High Lord to start with, by the previous one getting stabbed a little.
That may have been more than a little, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was just a little knife, it just happened to be in a vital area.
Okay, yeah, fair. And then we get some Lopin making fun of his cousin for being short, whatever.
Oh, Lopin.
That was unnecessary.
Honestly, the more we see of like Lopin and Huio, the more I kind of like Huio. But
Huey's like, I came here to help, and you just keep mocking me. What the fuck?
It's like, you know who I am. Come on, man.
short joke, he says, be glad not short temper. Man, a few words because he can't speak Alethi very well, but I like it.
Yeah, no, Huey, good man. Bridge 4.
Bridge 4!
Lopin's cousins, man. Oh. And then Yasna and Navani show up, and we're gonna have a big meeting with the various. We're having the next coalition meeting here because the defense of this city is what's basically next on the agenda. Yeah, and Renard asks some strange questions about gemstones. He's like, "Are there any like really big gemstones anywhere in the city?" And Fenn's son is like, "I mean, yeah, lots of them. Some really nice pieces. Why?" And Renarin says, "Because," and that's the end of that scene.
No reason. Goodbye.
Yeah. And like, in the moment, I'm just like, that's a strange thing to ask. And then you get to Risen's interlude, which is all about those big ass gemstones. I'm like, Renner, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's something weird going on with Renan for sure. He's like nowhere to be seen in the last like parts of this this section.
Yeah.
He's like, "What do you know, my dude?"
Yeah. And,
And also, why do you refuse to tell people what you know? It seems really inconvenient.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, they've just spent all this time talking about the gemstone reserve, and then like almost immediately we cut to that. I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on in there? What's the significance here?
Yeah, it seems like it must be something.
Mm.
And we cut to Dalinar preparing for this meeting, and he's talking to the Stormfather like, "Hey, are you feeling any better?" And the Stormfather's like, "Shut up. I'm not a man. I don't get sick like you guys."
Okay.
And we get an answer to one of the questions you guys had, where he brings up cultivation, and Dalinar's like, "Oh, so she's still alive?" And the Stormfather says, "Yes, you've met her." And he goes, "Wait, I have?" And the Stormfather goes, "You don't remember. Normally she hides. Cowardice." And then Downer goes, "The Night Watcher," and the Stormfather goes, "No, that's not her. The Night Watcher is not cultivation."
Okay.
Dude, the I thought we were done with like the cryptic Stormfather BS. Like, bro, just tell him what's going on. Like, we don't have time for this crap.
But also, I was like, I thought we had confirmation earlier that Night Watcher was cultivation, or was that in a text that got it wrong?
You guys drew some conclusions based on stuff that we read that were not entirely accurate.
Oh, piss. Because Jaymee and I were talking about that, and she's like, "Wait, did we read that in Hessi's Mystica?" And we thought it was fact based on that. I'm like, I don't remember where we heard it. I thought we had confirmation already.
Now let me see if I can find it. I know it was this book. Nope, that's not how you spell cultivation. Let's see. No, it's come up a lot. I think it may have been okay. Odium tells Dalinar. Dalinar asks some question. What caused the Radiants to abandon their oaths? That's what he asked. And Odium tells him, ask that of cultivation the next time you see her. Ask what she'd want for Roshar. I think you'll find me to be a better choice. And Dalinar goes, well, next time, I've never seen her. And Odium goes, of course you have. She simply robbed you of that memory. Her touch is not how I would have helped you, and so on and so forth. So we assume he went to see the Night Watcher, and the Night Watcher took those memories. And so you guys, and this says cultivation took the memories. So you guys said 1 and 1 is 2, and it's not quite as simple as that.
Piss. I could have sworn there was somewhere that outright said it, but might be misremembering. Again, months and months on this book.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I remember when you guys drew the conclusion, I was like, I see why you think that. That's not exactly what that means. But I wasn't going to say that, so...
Well, I mean, it's nice to have it sitting pretty in black and white here, like the offshoot of God says, no, that's not right. So you're just like, oh, just wait, we'll get there.
Yeah, it's like, you're wrong, by the way, and you're just like, oh, okay, fine.
It's not one of those you have to come up with a whole explanation. It's like, this is why it's not true. It's like, no, the book just outright says, like, it's not her.
But we also get another interesting note. We heard recently that based on when the captain in Shadesmar was like, oh, which bondsmith? And we talked about, like, if the Stormfather is one of them, who would the other two be? And we get told right here, the Night Watcher is a spren is like you, Stormfather. So that makes me think, oh, that must be one of the other two. And he says, are there any other ones like that? And the Stormfather says, yes, there's a third sibling.
This is what, like, Joe was speculating last time, the ocean spirit.
Well, whoever it is slumbering. I don't know that the ocean thing ever looked like it was sleeping, but it could be.
It's sleep swimming.
And Dalinar's like, oh, tell me more. This is interesting. And the Stormfather goes, no.
Yeah. It's so annoying. Like, dude, just talk. Come on.
It's like, do you want us to succeed or not?
At this point, like, what's holding your tongue?
Well, the Stormfather says, leave them alone. You hurt them enough. So that sounds like he has a pretty specific reason for not wanting to go into this more. And Dalinar's just like, okay, fine. And we get another question, like, did Honor the Almighty, did he actually care about men and their pain? And the Stormfather says, he did. I didn't understand why, but now I do. Odium lies when he claims to have sole ownership of passion. At the end, though, Honor became more obsessed with oaths. There were times when the oath itself was more important than the meaning behind it. He loved humankind. He died defending you.
And the oath's more important than the meaning behind it. We call that the Jaymee Lannister principle.
Fair. And then we run into Taravangian, who says that he's having a good day today, but he kind of wishes he wasn't. It is not a day to be heartless, he says, so I worry. And Tyler's like, what the hell does that mean? So I guess he's having a smart day is what he's saying, because we know when he's smart, he's less empathetic. So
it's Dalinar's just like, man, Taravangian, you're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, no.
I mean, he's not so heartless. He's not just like man, there's too much noise. Kill the children.
Yeah, he's not having that smart of a day. But I guess we can all be grateful for small favors.
Man, we should have seen it coming that shit's about to go down. He's like saying to Stormfather, I've united them all. He comes into the meeting. I'm looking forward to this meeting. Shit was always going to go sideways here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
like Dalinar is like Kaladin. He's not allowed to be happy.
Well, yeah, he goes into the meeting and he's like, everything seems to be going well. He sees people chatting. One of his generals, like, oldest son is getting close to the princess of Yazir. There might be the first union between Alethi and a Makabaki princedom in centuries. He's like, everything's going so well. And he starts hearing that voice in his mind saying, unite them. And he's like, I'm doing that. Stormfather, why do you keep saying that? And Stormfather's like, yeah, it's not me, man.
No, you crazy. You crazy, Dalinar. I like you, but you're crazy.
But the question is like Stormfather, is that you? I said nothing. But did you hear it?
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
I said nothing. Ignore me. And they get into the whole chat. I also love the note that there's an issue with some of Amaram's troops. They've been carousing And Amaram like stiffens at this. He's not. Dalinar thinks for all his faults, he liked to run a tight army. Well, you're not doing it, man. Like, fix it.
Yeah, the one good thing about you, and you can't even do that right.
Mm. And then the Stormfather says to Dalinar, something's coming, a storm. And every group in the room starts getting like span reads flashing. And first we hear the Everstorm has hit Shinovar. It's like 4 days earlier than they expected it. It's usually 9-day intervals, and it's only been 5. But we've got lots of confirmation about it. And it seems to be going faster than usual. So usually it would take a full day to get this far. We don't know how long it's going to be. But then the Stormfather's like, no, that's not what I was talking about. There's something else. And different people are getting different information. First, Yasna and Navani get the translation of what the title is named after, the Isla Stellae, the oldest known piece of writing written in the Dawn Chant, which we're managing to translate because of Dalinar's visions. This is from even before the first desolation. And I don't know how quickly you guys locked on to what's going on here, but yeah, it takes Dalinar a whole minute to figure out, like, wait a second, that's not written by a human.
Yeah, it took me a hot minute. It wasn't. I basically was just following Dalinar's train of thought. As soon as he twigged this, like, well, wait a minute, they're not like no carapace. How would they even know that about the carapace unless the people writing this had carapace? Oh shit.
Yeah. Some of the language in it as well. Early on, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is not written by a human."
So it says that they came from another world using powers we have been forbidden to touch, powers of Spren and Surges. They destroyed their lands and have come to us begging. We took them in as commanded by the gods. What else could we do? Our pity destroyed us. Beware the otherworlders, the traitors. Do not take them in. Do not give them succor. Well were they named Voidbringers, for they brought the void. A new god, their god. They have no songs. They cannot hear Roshar, and where they go, they bring silence. They look soft with no shell, but they are hard. They have but one heart, and it cannot ever live. So that is a lot of information kind of couched in some interesting terminology, but
Yeah.
humans
Yeah.
destroyed the world they're from. Okay. It's not good.
But yeah, it's like the thing about the shell and they know no songs. I'm like, oh well, okay then.
Yep. They brought a new god with them, their god. Also, it's interesting that apparently the Barshendi named the humans Voidbringers, and at some point that got turned around on them.
The Uno reverse card got played.
Exactly. The writer, Yasna says, was a dawn singer, one of the original inhabitants of Roshar. Not Spren, as theology has often postulated.
So like, yeah, the whole thing, they called us Voidbringers and we turned it around on them. It's like, that's the ultimate history was written by the winners thing.
Yep, exactly. And the most interesting thing to me is Yasna goes, yeah, I've suspected this for a while, that the first desolation was the invasion of humans onto Roshar. This is the truth that destroyed the Radiance.
I mean, yeah, like, what's Kaladin going to do when he finds this out? Like, I'm supposed to do the right thing, but like, I'm not. I'm a colonial.
Yeah, I'm a colonizer. This is not good. Yeah, he's already having enough trouble deciding like good guys and bad guys. I can't imagine this is going to help.
Yep.
You see it with all of his people, like the other members of Bridge 4 at the end of the section are like, we thought we were doing the right thing for once in our freaking lives, and now we got to wait for Kaladin. He'll know what's right.
Prepare to be surprised.
Right, yeah. And then everyone else in the room, Taravangian has something, Fen has something, the Azish have something, and Dalinar assumes it's all the same thing that they found out. And Dalinar's like, yeah, I realize that this is troubling. We just need time to figure stuff out. But no, it turns out that the Azish, actually, it is the same. They've been worried about these powers being dangerous from the beginning. And now we've got this thing saying, oh, by the way, these powers destroyed the previous world that humanity lived on. So maybe legitimate concerns. Fen, on the other hand, couldn't care less about that. Like, whatever. What I want to know about is this High King business. Like, did you really let another king swear fealty to you, Dalinar? And they're like, okay, look, I understand that looks bad. I'm not interested in being in charge of you. That's an internal Alethi thing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Taravangian who has the thing where he's like, yeah, this stuff about mankind's origins is really upsetting to me. The Azish have accounts of visions where Dalinar met Odium that have not been released yet. Possibly because Lift specifically was like, yeah, don't tell them about this. And even Lift is over here like, oh shit. Like, she's gasping in the background of this meeting when this is announced. Although, I feel like the Azish are a little bit unreasonable when they're like, these visions in which you met and fraternized with the being known as Odium, it's not like they're hanging out having drinks. Like,
Yeah. Also, I didn't have a choice. He just showed up.
Yeah, it's like, what was I going to do? Shut the door? Like,
Also,
and in point of fact, how did they get these accounts? He didn't write these down, did he?
I think probably Yasna and Navani were in on that secret. And we know that Taravangian's Radiant had her Spren spying on their meetings.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that's where that came from.
Okay.
I don't see why it's a big deal for the guy leading this coalition to like have a parlay with the leader of the enemy side. Like, isn't that a normal thing to, try to work some shit out?
But there's normally disclosure involved.
Okay, that's fair. And I love they're like, is this true? Have you met with the enemy, Dalinar? And Navani's over here like, oh crap. And Yasna's shaking her head like, don't answer that. And Dalinar goes, yes, I did. And did he actually tell you that you would destroy Roshar? Like, why are we believing Odium when he says some shit like that?
And also, Dalinar, do a little bit better job of defending yourself. Like, yes, I did, but I didn't have a choice. I was having the vision, and he showed up.
Yeah. And also, did he tell you you'd destroy Roshar? I mean, yeah, but like, how can we trust his word? And especially when we didn't write down an account, so who knows how this account has been exaggerated?
Yeah. Why you believe he said a lot of shit. Why would we believe our enemy?
Yeah, you've got a third-hand account of this, mate.
And so, and Fen is still wrapped up on like, wait, how is this an internal Alethi matter when the king of another country is swearing allegiance to you? And they realize, maybe not in this section, but in the next section, it's like, this is too much at once. Clearly, there's something else going on here. And just the right information was fed to all the right people. Fen was already worried that he had ulterior motives. Here's these might be his ulterior motives. The Azish were already worried that the powers were dangerous. Here's proof that the powers are dangerous. It's a dedicated attack. Everyone can basically see that. But maybe it doesn't matter since it's true. All the things they're saying are more or less true.
From a certain point of view.
So in the epigraph for the living, we get more about like there's almost certainly 9 unmade. We're not sure who the last one is. I'm going to discuss theories about that. And then we get another like kind of half Kaladin flashback about Terra, who we've discussed a couple times. We've heard her name come up. She was the daughter of the assistant quartermaster in Amaram's army, and they kind of were together. And they have kind of a fun little conversation where they're just hanging out, talking about some stuff about work. He's got her keeping an eye out for young people like Tien who are over their heads so that he can help them out. Her father doesn't like him, but she's like, hey, come on over tonight, and I'm going to have him make Thalen bread. He loves anyone who compliments his bread. But Kaladin, he's like, no, I have the extra practices that I've set up in the evening. I can't miss those. And then she tells him that she's leaving. They offered me this job over in Morn's Vault, which I guess is probably a city. Makes me think of Deep Space Nine, Morn, but whatever. I wanted to tell you over dinner, not out here in the cold, but I have to do this. My father's getting older. He doesn't want to get shipped off to the Shattered Plains. And Kaladin's like, I mean, can't you not do that? And she says no, and he goes, well, maybe I could get transferred to like the High Prince's standing house guard. And she says, would you do that? And he's like, and he thinks, no, I would not do that. Not while light-eyed High Lord's got boys killed in petty fights. And she tells him, Cal, maybe someday you'll learn to be there for the living and not just for the dead. And she leaves, and it says that she wrote him a couple of letters after she left. He had to pay someone to read them, obviously. And he just never responded because he was stupid and he didn't understand, and because men make mistakes when they're young and angry, and because she'd been right. So, wow.
I don't know how to take this. We've gone 2.5 books of not knowing this girl existed to all of a sudden. It's like, remember this one girl I had a fling with?
Right. And it doesn't seem like, I don't know, Kaladin seemed to have built it up in his mind, like, into a pretty major event, which maybe to him it was, but at the same time, it was like, oh, we got this little chunk of it right here that kind of explains the relationship, but not really. And then it's like, okay, how are we supposed to feel as readers about this now? Are we just supposed to be sad for Kaladin? Like, I don't know. It's not super clear how we're supposed to feel about the goings on of it. And oh, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something else about it. Well, I'll just leave it there. If I remember, I'll bring it back up.
Oh. This seems to be Kaladin thinking about, like, he's just bad at relationships, but
Of all
that
the
was
times for him to
also,
start thinking about that though.
I mean, he was kind of thinking about Shalon in the last chapter, or Shalon was thinking about him. I don't know.
That old chestnut.
But it's been a long time. Kaladin is a very different person now than he was at that point in his life also.
Also, I remember what I was going to say before. Also, I feel like this does leave the door open for them possibly meeting again, because she just went away, like, to a far off place. Like,
True.
they could potentially meet at some point.
Yeah. He knows where she is.
She's Odium's champion.
That would be unexpected, yeah.
That would be a plot thread pulled directly from the butthole. It's like, yep, that just pulling one out of my ass now. This makes no sense.
But okay, so we cut to them hiking through Shadesmar. They flew a little bit of the ways, but now they're hiking and coming up on Thalen City. And basically, like, Kaladin is pushing them. And Shalon, now that they have no Stormlight to use anymore, she's fallen behind. Like, she's not as rugged as the others, which, surprise, surprise. And they make it over the crest, this ridge, and they can see below all these candle flame lights, which we know is what human souls look like on this side. Thalen City. And out there, over the Sea of Lights, are the two towering spren of the Oathgate. These don't look like they've been corrupted like the ones in Kholinar did. So that's good. What is less good is that the Oathgate platform is right below them, and there's a bridge leading out to it, and the bridge is guarded by an army of enemy spren. Hundreds, maybe thousands of them. And that's where we leave Kaladin for this part 4. I don't even know how you fight enemy spren. And we move to our last numbered chapter, The Thing Men Do Best. And Hessi's last entry here. If I'm correct and my research is true, the question remains, who is the ninth unmade? Is it truly Daigonarthus? If so, could their actions have actually caused the complete destruction of Amia? So we've heard once or twice some about an event called the Scourging of Amia, where everything there was more or less destroyed. And we even saw a little bit there.
I was gonna say we saw Amia, like it was underwater and like surrounded by rock spires and stuff.
Well, I mean, there was at least a beach with a bunch of
that island
gemstones on it. So yeah,
Have we heard Daigonarthus before?
I do not recall that we have. Hold on, let me see if I can.
Diagon Alley.
This is the only time Daigonarthus is mentioned in this book. So
okay, cool.
Random information that it may be responsible for the scourging of Amia. Good to know.
I look forward to halfway through book 5 when this name finally comes up again. And we're like, oh yeah.
We don't even know if he's actually, or they are actually the ninth unmade. That's just a theory. So, So we cut back to Dalinar, who's hanging out with Queen Fen, and she's pissed off, and he's upset at himself, basically, for holding all this stuff back and giving someone, he has no idea who, the ammunition to do this all at once. Like, he could have dealt with one of these things at a time. This is too much at once. And I love the Stormfather's like, I mean, did you really think you belonged here? That you people were native to Roshar? And Dalar's like, well, yeah, I mean, I thought maybe we came from Shinovar originally. And the Stormfather's like, yeah, that's the land they gave you, a place where the plants and animals you brought could grow. And Dalar's like, yeah, but we didn't want to stay where we were confined, huh? When has a tyrant ever said to himself, this is enough? Remembering what Gavilar had said once upon a time. And we find out that this is more or less what caused the ancient Radiants to abandon their vows. The Recreants. Not just humankind origins, but also the fear that the powers they had would destroy this planet like it had the one before. That's why they abandoned their vows.
Yep, fair enough.
And Dalinar's like, well, we're not going to do that this time. I'm not going to let it happen. And the Stormfather's like, oh, really? And then he turns, and Bridge 4 is walking away, their heads slumped. And Tess like, yeah, we're going back to Urithiru. The men we left back there need to know about this stuff. And Dalinor's like, I mean, we're still being invaded. This doesn't change any of that. And Sigsel's over here like, well, I mean, being invaded by people trying to get their homeland back. I'd be mad if I was them. Like, what the hell? And Tef's just like, yeah, we'll see what Cal says. All respect, sir, Dalinar, but we don't listen to you. We listen to Kaladin. He knows the right of things, even when the rest of us don't. And Dalinar's over here. Dalinar still thinks Kaladin may well be dead, along with Elhokar and Adolin. So, and the Stormfather says, in the past, honor could guard against this kind of stuff. He convinced the Radiants they were righteous, even if this wasn't their original land. But, leading up to the Recreants, he was dying. When that generation learned the truth, he did not support them. He raved, speaking of the Dawn Shards, the ancient weapons that destroyed the Tranquiline Halls. He promised that Surgebinders would do the same to Roshar. So, yeah, that's not good.
Isn't the next novella after this book called Dawnshard?
It is.
Awesome. Sounds like a laugh riot. Here's the weapon that destroyed heaven.
Yep. And so most of the people are leaving. The Azish are like, we need to think this stuff through. Taravangian says we can use his ships to go back to our empire and not have to go through your oath gates. And he turns to Fen like, are you going too? You gonna abandon me? And she's like, where would I go? An army is coming here, and you guys are the only people that I can count on to defend my city. So I can't afford to throw you out.
It's like, you're in my house. Like,
and I love that she's like, he says, I'm sorry for betraying your trust. And she's like, you know what? I really don't think that you want to conquer me, but I can't help wishing that I did have to worry, because it seems like you've turned into a good man right in time to bravely sink with the ship. And while that's commendable, the Blackthorn would long since have murdered everyone trying to sink him.
brutal.
Yeah. And then Taravangian's like, yeah, I'm leaving too. And Dalinar's like, what? But you're like the one guy I thought would stay. You're the most pragmatic ruler I've ever met. You're always talking about having to do what's politically necessary. And he's like, yep, then that's why I got to do this. Sorry. I wish I could explain. Because he's planning to stand out of the way and pick up the pieces. And then the worst part is that Dalinar Spren is not helping in the least. We end the chapter with him being like, I mean, I tried to hide all this. I told you didn't want to know this shit. And Dalinar's like, what, so we could continue living a lie? And the Stormfather's like, yeah, that's what men do best. Isn't that what you've been doing the last 6 years? Pretending you aren't a monster? Pretending that you didn't kill her, Dalinar?
Stormfather, you're real down, bro.
Does he want them to die?
Right? Like, why you gotta pile on, man?
How's this helping?
Yeah, it's like the conversation that you have to have in a lot of stories. It reminds me of Star Wars Episode 1, right? When he's talking to the Naboo. It's like, you have to understand that what affects the other Naboo people affects you too. And he's like, nah, I don't think so. You guys can figure it out.
Oh, the Gungans, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys live in a symbiont circle, he says.
Yeah, which I mean, even if you don't even have to characterize it as a symbiont circle. It's like they live on the planet that's being taken over by droids. It affects them.
Yeah.
Like, nah, we're good.
Once the droids are done with the Naboo, like they'll just come for you, Brian Blessed.
Yeah. Misa gonna speed you away.
Through the planet core.
Oh, that's gonna sound terrible on the recording.
Yeah.
It
You have
actually
a
sounded
life
kinda
play
like we were
with this
underwater,
and
so.
hissin'? People talk crap about Phantom Menace. It's not terrible.
We're gonna make you Bombad General.
Yeah.
Man, okay. Anyway, no, it's pretty bad. I'm sorry. There's some good stuff for sure, some good pieces, but no, man.
All right, so let's
Better
talk.
than Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No,
I think
that's
better-
true. Yeah.
It's better than Attack of the Clones. I honestly think it's better than Last Jedi as well. So, like, if you're gonna talk about bad Star Wars movie, or not Last Jedi, Last Jedi. So, if you're gonna talk about bad Star Wars movies, there are worse ones.
I think my worst one is Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, you don't like that one?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
That was about the point where my interest in anything Star Wars died.
No, Rise of the Skywalkers. It's like,
It's not good, but I don't think it's bad. I think Last Jedi is worse.
I think after Last Jedi, they tried to about face so hard that they just like screwed it up even more.
Yeah, maybe so, but
Like the reaction to Last Jedi was not good. I think worse than it deserved, I would say, although I don't think that it was a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. But like they're like, "Oh, well they don't like any of the new stuff we're doing. So Rey's the Skywalker and Emperor Palpatine is the bad guy." And like they're just like, "We better go back to the only thing that works."
Ugh.
And it made it worse as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah. Okay, no, we don't need to run deep in Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't need to teabag this hornet's nest anymore.
Everyone, email us and tell us what the best and worst Star Wars movies are in your opinion.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That'll start a whole other podcast.
Rogue
What
One
has
sucks.
science done?
I don't think Rogue One sucked.
I don't like it, but I know I'm in the minority. A lot of people like it.
I think honestly, I think that one and Solo both played better for me on rewatch than they did the first time.
Solo actually I like.
I
Rogue
like-
One, I think the problem with me for Rogue One, it's like they're like, hey, love these characters that you just met. They all die. Like I don't.
It worked for me. It worked for me. I like Solo a lot. Just Solo lived and died on the dude playing Han Solo's charisma.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
For all like the other problems that movie had, and it had many, he fucking killed it, and I adore him for it.
I think Andor actually helps in retrospect Rogue One quite a bit.
That's one of those ones I should probably watch it, but like Star Wars to me is movies, and I struggle with the shows. Like first couple of seasons of Mandalorian were okay until it turned into just a hey, like if you haven't watched 80 billion episodes of 90 cartoons, then you're not gonna understand who the fuck anyone is. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done with the show now.
See, I've never watched a single one of the cartoons, but I was still okay with. I did know a couple of the characters were coming from cartoons, and so, like, well, and I guess that comes into Solo as well, where you're like, wait a second, if you haven't watched the cartoon, people are like, what the fuck? Why is Darth Maul here?
Oh yeah, I definitely had that thought. And then like I look it up and it's like, oh well, if you haven't watched this is not going to make sense. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize my fucking Star Wars movie was a university course with required fucking reading.
But I feel like I feel like they explain the cartoon characters they bring into the Mandalorian felt explained enough to me that I didn't need to watch the cartoons to know what they are. I do think that some of them, like that one, there's one weird alien bounty hunter guy who looked really cool, but got very little of anything to do in the Mandalorian season. Oh no, sorry, that was in Book of Boba Fett, which was basically the
even watch that.
Mandalorian season 3 at the end. Like the last two or three episodes of the Book of Boba Fett are about the Mandalorian for some reason. But there's a cool like alien bounty hunter who gets very little to do and apparently was very big and fun and everyone loved him in the cartoons. And I was like, oh, that's why this seems like a very cool and deep character and they give almost nothing to him because he's from something else. Okay, fine. Anyway, sorry. We'll not do that. But
Let's scramble back out of this rabbit hole.
yeah, clearly there's some strong feelings about Star Wars in the room. We don't have Poet here at least, so we don't have to listen
Oh
to
god, could you
to
imagine?
that. So back to the book. We're going into the interludes. Venli's interlude actually isn't that much. Like they've moved her to a cave in Marat where she's still telling the same story over and over. And we end the section with they're putting her on a boat and they're like, "Oh yeah, all of us are going to go and to this big battle and the Everstorm is going to take us there." And I love she's like, "Why are we fighting? Aren't you fused like super powerful and stuff? Why don't you guys just do it?" And the dude first he calls her a coward. And then he's like, look, the strongest and most skilled of us haven't awoken yet, but even if we're all awake, we don't fight the war alone. The world's not going to be ours. We're fighting to give it to you, our descendants. And when it's won, we finally get to rest. So that's new information. But yeah, that's all that we get out of her interlude.
I don't know what to
So
make
it's
of
real good to know that like the strongest and most dangerous and stuff of them, we haven't even seen yet. Then we get Risens, which is, I feel like this is the meatiest chapter of any of the ones we read this time, quite honestly.
Well, the thing about the interludes is like there's the two flavors of interludes. There's the one like where it's just a one-off character for the book, which even though we've seen Risen before, that's what she is. Like this is going to be her whole story in this book. And then you've got things like the Venli, where it's part of a whole that goes throughout the whole book. So like they get away with much shorter ones.
That's true, yeah.
Same with the Teft one. It's like, it's strictly speaking, it's it's not even Teft's only interlude. He got one back in earlier section, so still just part of
Yeah.
a longer story.
It's kind of weird because Teft is such a major character that it's odd to see him pop up in an interlude.
Yeah.
We used to see a lot of Taravangian and Seth interludes, and now they're becoming more central, so...
They're getting their own sections in
Yeah.
like the parts. But Teft went the other way. He had a section in, like, he was part of Bridge 4's chapters in part 2 or whatever it was, and now he's an interlude. So, like, what are the rules? What determines who's an interlude and who's a chapter?
Doesn't anybody else give a fuck about the rules? So Risen has finished her apprenticeship, but since she lost the use of her legs after falling off the giant crab in the last book, she can't go out and be the trader that she always wanted to be. She now has a somewhat prestigious job keeping Queen Fen's ledgers. It says that Vistum, her Bapsk, the guy who trained her, had traded in favors to get her this job, and she's bored. She feels like she's paralyzed from the waist down, essentially, and she feels like career over, freedom over, life over, which understandable, honestly. I could absolutely see feeling this way, especially someone who's been trained to go around the world trading and seeing all sorts of interesting sites. Like, I can see why this would feel that way. All that she has to remember her journeys by, she has her pot of grass and Cheery, the little creature that they gave her as a present on that island. The Reshi had named her a Larkin. And apparently Cheery eats light. Like, Risen has a sphere with Stormlight on her desk, and Cheery's like, "Oh, I want that thing." And she's like, "No, I need this for light to work. You just ate." And it says, like, Cheery clicks in annoyance and then flies. Like, this, I don't know that we've ever seen a Kremling that can fly before. It says that she's just a little bigger than a Kremling.
So is this an alien spying on her, I wonder?
Well, it could be. We know they can breed specialized things.
Hmm.
And so the auditor has arrived early, and surprise, surprise, it is Vistum. The queen has called him back and appointed him as Minister of Trade. And she's like, but that means you have to live here. You don't get to go out on adventures. He's like, I'm getting old, you know? And I love that Cheery, like, this new guy shows up and he jumps out to, like, and, like, clicks at him angrily, like, to defend Risen. And he's like, "Hey, I'm not going to hurt her. Here, I brought you something." And he holds up a ruby for Cheery to suck the light out of. And we find out her legs could not be healed by Renarin. It had been too long since her accident.
I didn't know the Renarin's powers had a time limit.
I feel like we heard a little something about that earlier, but I don't remember for sure. If we didn't, then this is the first time that we're finding this out. But yeah.
Okay. I feel like I bring this up a lot of times. Like, I don't remember that. And you say, yeah, it came up. I'm like, I'm sorry for the amount of times I do that.
I forget if we talked about it before, but Stormlight healing... Well, and there's a difference between healing yourself and healing other people. Obviously, like, we saw the Lopin regrew his arm.
Yeah, grew his arm back. He went full Namek.
Yeah. But when it comes to other people's injuries in particular, it basically comes down to how you see yourself. Like, if you see yourself as a fully healthy person, then it can be fixed. If you've internalized it, like, so long has passed that you see yourself as a person with this injury, then they can't fix it. Because it's based on identity, like capital I identity in some ways. It's the whole Cosmere. That's kind of getting deep into Cosmere lore and how investiture works, but yeah. And he's concerned about her. Like, he got her this job because she refused to try to go on trading expeditions anymore. And she's like, well, I mean, you know how much hiking is required to do the kind of job that you did. And your superior is concerned, not about your work, but like about you, really. You've always been so quick to make assumptions about yourself now more than others. And he's like, well, he can't seem to find the right words. He just gives her this box he brought. He's like, here, take this. And it is a deed of ownership for a ship. It says the largest ship he's ever owned. All the newest in Thalen engineering. It's called the Wandersail. And hey, we heard the story of the Wandersail, so that's fun.
Neat.
And so he's like, I'm going to finance your initial trade run, but after that, you'll have to do pretty well to maintain a vessel of this size. And This is an extremely expensive gift, is what it comes down to. And she's like, I can't take this. And I like that he tells her, oh, he's the auditor. He had to, like, they were going to make him go to a stuffy meeting with old Colin and his soldiers, but I want to do this instead. I've always wanted to see the Queen's Vault.
Blackthorn, Queen's Vault. Blackthorn, Queen's Vault.
And so they have some pretty serious security on this vault, is what we see. It's like 3 different people have to provide a number in order to complete the combination to let people in. And there's armed guards with crossbows and all sorts of stuff. Even the guy who pushes her wheelchair is not allowed in. And there's a daily passcode. Like, for what it is, this is a very secure vault. But of course, in a world of shard blades, as she points out, like, it's really more about the people guarding than the vault in question, because you could just cut right through it. And the room is full of a million gemstones, he says, but it's dark because these gemstones never leave the vault. They change ownership all the time. People trade them for stuff back and forth, but we just make a note about the new owner, and they stay here, so they're always safe. But there's one gem that still has light. It says over 200 years after being locked in the vault, the king's drop is still glowing. And it's like, yeah, something about like the lack of flaws and imperfections. So this is one of those perfect gemstones we heard about not terribly long ago. And it can just keep holding light. That's the same sort of stones they use in Shadesmar to store light and trade it back and forth.
Big ass gem.
Yeah. And then the Queen's Guard, who came along with Vistum, kills one of the guards with a knife in the neck, and then goes after Vistum as well, and knocks Risen over. And dude takes a crossbow bolt and just doesn't even give a shit. Takes a second one, doesn't seem to notice. So this is kind of T-1000 thing happening.
It just came out of nowhere too. It's like, yep, that's the gem, and he's dead. Oh god.
Yeah, things go from like kind of just normal, interesting to me, like finding out all this stuff about Thalen society, but it's nothing super amazing. And then shit hits the fan real quick. And she's trying to crawl around and like get some guards, get some help, save Vistum. And Cherry is here also, and he senses food because whoever this guy is stealing the king's drop. He's trying to take the giant ruby. And Cherry's like, ooh, dinner. I mean, Risen has to make a pretty serious effort to just pull herself through here and try to do something. And all the while, she just notes, like, everyone else is struggling for their lives, and Cherry is just pigging out. And at some point, like, towards the end of this chapter, she's like, wait, did you get bigger? So, like, I guess he grows if he eats a whole lot? I don't understand exactly.
Yeah, it's a real Stranger Things Demodog situation, I feel like.
Never watched Stranger Things.
Oh man, last season part of it just came out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, somebody told me, like, hey, the last season's about to start. And I was like, really? That's still going? I had no idea.
They had to take a really long break because of COVID at one point, and then they had to take another break because of, like, I think just schedule conflicts, because now, you know, all those actors are doing movies and stuff.
That makes
sense.
sense.
That first season came out 9 years ago. We're up to the 5th season.
Yeah. So, like, they, I think, like, a couple of the kids were already, like, Broadway stars before the show. And so, like, a lot of them are doing, like, live stage stuff, and then the other ones are doing films and stuff. So, and, you know, David Harbour's been doing a lot of films, and he's in that show.
Red Guardian.
Yeah. Really, I feel like the only person who's not doing work outside of that show is Winona Ryder.
That's interesting. I was going to show you guys, actually. They did I don't know if you guys have seen the latest pins that they did last month was when they got announced, but the latest Cosmere pins, they did a Risen one. And so I was going to show you so you could see what she looks like. Let me find the right one. They also did a Marisai. I might show you a couple of these, actually, because some of them are pretty fun, but they changed who's designing them, so they look a little different from the first batch. But yeah, there's Risen and Cherry, although he's a lot bigger here than what we see him in this.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's fucking huge.
Yeah, that's fun though.
Yeah,
Marisai. I actually would want a Marisai one.
The Marisai one, I actually like this. Here's the Marisai one. It's like one of the most action-packed pins I feel like they've done.
Oh yeah, she's like in the middle of firing a gun.
Yeah,
that's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
She looks great though. I like that pin. And you can tell the design is slightly different, but it still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the pin. I just was not ready for the rage face.
I think Marisai and Dusk may be my favorite of the two new ones they did. Here's Horathan from
Oh,
Elantris.
Oh yeah, I kind of like that. He looks
Yeah.
a little
Oh,
too
that's-
imperial, like stormtroopery to me, but still looks good.
he
And they
comes
did
with his
lo-
own speechifying rock.
I know, right? He's got a rock to like Captain Morgan stance on. Yeah.
to to zelify from or whatever. I don't know. Is that a made
This
up
is my
word?
this is my preaching rock.
Yeah. Everybody hear me. Don't ignore me.
And then we got Light Song and Blush Weaver from Warbreaker.
I like the Blushweaver one.
Oh, nice.
Weird that they're both holding drinks, but
Yeah, I mean, it's the court of the gods. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, given
like-
the fact that she wouldn't shut up about it, Blushweaver is not as busty as I expected.
No, right? I expected much. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh god, that's
Well, they're
Wayne,
probably
isn't
trying
it?
to keep it PG, you know.
Yeah,
You know
fair.
it's Wayne. He's got a hat and he's holding another hat.
Yep.
He looks too friendly.
And then we got Shy from Emperor Soul. She's in the middle of soul stamping herself, and her outfit isn't changing.
If we're gonna keep
That's
this in, you're gonna
cool.
have to like post these pins on Instagram or something.
On the Instagram, yeah.
Oh, everyone can see them. They're all available for sale on Brandon's website. If you haven't seen the new pins, he did send out emails about them, so feel free to go and
Yeah,
check it
but
out.
like, it's still, maybe just do a post. And it's like this is the bit that we just spend 10 minutes
Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
fair.
Or
Only
in the
one more, so-
description, like put in the link to the pins on the website. It's like that way. It's like, hey, if you
Oh.
want to hear about what we're talking about, here's the link to that.
That's a good
Holy
idea
shit.
too. Yeah, that is Ellen Venture is the last one of these.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. That one, for whatever reason, seemed very like Spanish to me. And I think you told me that they were having some kind of con in Spain where that was debuting or something. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, that one may have debuted at the one in Spain. There was a con in Spain. They debuted several things there. I didn't remember if that was one of them, but yeah, that would have made sense. This is the one where the design change bugs me the most because these are also taller than the previous ones by a little bit, and so Ellen and Vin don't look good next to each other because she's shorter and more cartoony than he is, and so Vin is also short, so maybe that actually works, but it made me sad that you can't put them like right next to each other and have them look matching. Wayne also looks like 30% taller than Wax when you put them side by side, but that doesn't bother me as much.
That would bother me.
But yes, so those are the new pins. Some cool stuff in there.
Was Wayne always blonde? I always pictured him with brown hair.
Honestly, I don't recall.
I don't recall either.
We'll see if there's some.
I mean, he's
most
wearing
of the,
brown clothes. Maybe they threw the blonde hair and just add a bit of distinction. But
the fan art all pretty much has him with brown hair. So, that's interesting. I actually hadn't thought about that. I don't remember how he's described at all. I mean, hair-wise, obviously, there's lots of bits to his description, and some of those I remember. But
yeah,
now I got to go back and reread Era 2. I was gonna. I still have been trying to start my Dresden Files reread before the new book comes out in January, but I keep getting sidetracked.
me too. I've been meaning to do that. I had to interrupt all my book plans and pick up a book that just came out because it was all about a fantasy pest exterminator, and my character in D&D is a fantasy pest exterminator. I'm like, well, I've got to fucking read this.
Yeah.
And it sounded like it was going to be like a fantasy monster book, like a creature feature. It was not that. It was a very good book, but it was not the creature feature that like the description made it sound like.
Interesting.
It's called The Works of Vermin. If anyone is interested.
I actually remember. You guys may remember last time we had somebody recommend those sci-fi books, the Bobby Verse books. Yep. And so there are 5 of those out currently. I've now read 2.5 of those since last week when we recorded. So
Jesus Christ,
they're not bad so far. The first half of the first book really kind of pulled me in, and it was interesting, and then it kind of slowed down, and I was less enamored of like the last quarter of the book, but they've been interesting. Okay, sorry. That was there's some book recommendations for you. Dak has his book he's reading. I've got the books I'm reading. What are you reading, Joe? Some manga?
Yeah, I think I talked about that last week. Reading Karobachi week to week and New Age Exorcist. Really don't have a lot of time for anything else. I'm following along with the other Sandra Lynch podcast with you guys.
Crawler Carl.
Yeah, reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I'm also reading that now.
It's fun to say dungeon crawler, Carl. Honestly, I was thinking about making a recurring joke when we did the other show where I introduce it and I can't pronounce that. And then I thought, that would undercut the credibility of the show. I feel like if I can't even say the thing. Okay, sorry, y'all. That was another rabbit hole for us. Let's go back to the chapter. Risen gets a hold of a crossbow and it's like, now I can do something. And it takes her a bit to realize, oh, it's not loaded. Awesome. Okay. And also, it's one of those where you load it by like stepping on it and pulling the thing, and she can't do that. And this is her moment, her like turning point, I feel like, where she's feeling alone and helpless, and she's like, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna die. Do I even care? And then she goes, you know what? Yes, I do care. I want to sail my own ship, damn it. And then she sees that Chiri Chiri has not only eaten the light from the ruby, but he is sucking light from the thief himself. It says a strange dark violet light. And as it gets pulled away, the guy's face melts and reveals a parchment underneath. No, a Voidbringer. So yeah, I guess Lightweavers are not the only ones who can disguise themselves. That's important to know. Shit.
I mean, every order shares their power with another order.
That's true.
So, but it's like, yeah, like they use the void light, but they're like that's just them using the surges. Like they still access the same powers. Yes.
It does seem that way. Yeah, I mean, we know that one of the fused people can fly, so that does need to be at least one of the surges. So yeah, maybe they have different types of fuse that do all the different surges, which then starts you questioning, like, what will some of these look like? And after he's drained of light, she manages to get her crossbow loaded and shoots him. It says it goes right into his chin, and no more light means no more heals, and he dies. And that's when she's like, hey, thanks, Chiri Chiri. You saved me. Wait, are you bigger? And he just clicks happily. And that's where we leave her. Like, she's taking out the bad guy, and she's now going to try to drag herself around and fix what's happening.
Yeah, I get it. It's an interlude, but I'm like, okay, I want to know more. Like, why was that guy trying to steal that specific gem? Also, is that gem that's been lit for a super long time now not lit because that creature she hangs out with ate it? Because that would be crazy.
It does kind of seem that way. I mean, it's not like it's hard to let Stormlight back in a gem. You just have to take it out of the vault and put it out during the storm. But yeah, that would be crazy if after 200 years it's now drained.
Yeah, and it's like, if it's been drained, will it hold its charge that long the next time it gets charged? Like
it's still a perfect gem as far as we know, so I would think, but I guess we don't know for sure.
We don't know how perfect gems work. Maybe Data does.
Yeah.
I mean, she said it was about like the composition of the gem. I assume the composition hasn't changed. Like, well, I don't know.
I'm just waiting for Queen Fen to come down here. It's like, okay, so the good news is we stopped the Parchment trying to steal the massive gem. Okay, and what's the bad news? My pet ate the light inside it. Okay.
I mean, worse things have happened. It's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like to Joe's point, like we want to know more about this. I feel like because of the talk about the gemstone exchange earlier, as we talked about, it's like I feel like this is going to come back before the end of the book. This is going to be capitalized upon.
It would be nice to know, as y'all pointed out, like why was this happening? Yeah. Our final interlude is Teft, and I love it. Starts out, Teft could function. You learned how to do that, how to not be too undependable. But he knew deep down he'd end up alone, that the men of Bridgefor would tire of digging him out of trouble. For now, he's fine, though. And a woman appears in the hallway, glowing with soft blue light. He pointedly did not look at her. You have words to speak, Steft. Steft, oh my gosh.
Steft.
You have words to speak, Teft. And he just goes, storm you.
I don't know why he's turning his back on this, especially because like he's from the group that like tried to bring this back.
You know,
I don't know what's in his head that he's trying to prevent this.
I guess he's still shaken by the revelations. Like, yeah, like these powers fucked up the planet, and now we're here to fuck it up again.
I don't know. I feel like if this lady's following him around, saying that to him, she's probably been around a while.
Yeah. The interesting is he's already sworn some oaths, she says.
Right, because otherwise I don't think she'd be as corporeal.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like he doesn't think he deserves this, but just because he's very down on himself throughout this whole chapter, basically. But I don't know. That's just my opinion.
It's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, exactly. And then she looks down the hall, alert, and he's like, wait, what's wrong? Something is very wrong. Run quickly, Teft. The Bridge 4 common room is in shambles, blood on the floor. 3 of their people are on the ground, Rock, Bissig, and Eth.
No. It specifically says 3 corpses and then says Rock, Bissig, and Eth. I'm like, did we just fucking kill Rock out of nowhere?
Honestly, I did not
And then-
remember that. Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, like Rock is still breathing. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that would have been startling. I mean, Bissig and Eth, like we've seen them around, but they're not like the characters that Rock is in this story.
Yeah, I wonder why he chose that term or phrase. Was he really getting into the perspective of Teft and being like, Teft thinks they're dead, but or was that like? I wonder what the history behind that is. Like, did he actually intend to kill off Rock, and then he's like, maybe I shouldn't do that.
I can't imagine that anyone actually intended to kill off Rock here. This is not Game of Thrones. Like, main characters can die, but like that? Come on. I don't think Brandon's ever done that, has he?
I don't know. I can't recall.
Did Clubs die off page? Maybe.
No,
Clubs died. Clubs
Clubs
did
died in a
kind
battle.
of. Yeah, he died in a battle, but I think it was like a cut where it was like, we know he's about to die, but it doesn't actually happen on page. It was like the end of a chapter or something.
That was Doxson, I think. It was his perspective, and he charges into the battle, and next thing we know, he's dead.
Yeah, him too.
Oh no, sorry. No, Doxson we saw die. In his perspective, he cursed Kelsey with his dying breath.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
No, the character that died off screen in that battle for certain. I can't remember about Clubs, but I do know
Sazed's girlfriend, whose name I can't
Yes.
remember.
Tindwyl, yeah.
Tindwyl, yeah.
Yes,
That's
Yep.
true. We had no idea where she was that entire battle, and then it was like, oh, by the
it
way,
wasn't until
she's
Sazed
dead.
found the body.
Yeah. Oh, because you just had to kick Sazed in the nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Wait, wasn't he a eunuch?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They found a way.
They
found
found
a way.
life finds a way.
But no, like Rock and Bissig still alive. I guess by extension, yeah, Eth is not. And he'd been the one carrying the honor blade, which they translate to mean, oh, they came here specifically to get the blade. So whoever it was knew that it was here, and I knew who had it.
Bridgefall.
We need Renarin. It's Rock's best chance. And Lynn's like, yeah, he was at the meeting, but he left. Where is that guy? And we get Bissig up long enough for him to tell us. Somebody came in. I didn't get a good look until he attacked. He had on a bridgeman coat. So the guy like walked in just disguised as one of them, and nobody really noticed at first until he was killing them. Bridge 4 coat with lieutenant's knots on the shoulder. And then they look at Teft, and he realizes, my coat, the one that I sold weeks ago in the market to get more drugs. And he runs. He just leaves.
Yeah.
Change
Normal cool
brand.
guy stuff to do.
Man.
And I love Teft, but he's breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Don't go breaking my heart, Tefty.
Oh, man.
I'm waiting. I need the Teft redemption arc.
It's so, man, like you feel so bad for him because we knew it was wrong at the time. He knows it was wrong, but he can't help himself, and now he's ashamed of like the result.
Well, that's the nature of addiction.
Yep, exactly.
And like it is depressingly accurate, and that's really upsetting.
It is upsetting.
All right, well, that's the end of our chapters. So we're moving to predicaments. For next time, we're doing 3 chapters. So I can tell you the titles, and I'll tell you, since we're starting part 5, who the prospective characters are for part 5. Let's start with the titles first. 114 is The Cost. 115 is The Wrong Passion. And 116 is Alone. And in the middle is Shallan's sketchbook, Oathgate Spren. So that's neat. Part 5, perspective characters are The Knights Radiant is the first one, so that covers a lot of ground.
Jesus, like,
Yeah.
Does that include Bridge 4, the Squires?
That's a fair question, actually. We don't know. The second one is Ash, so there's going to be Pikachu showing up.
What?
Who the hell is Ash?
That's a good question.
I thought we knew a character named Ash. Like that's his first name? Maybe not.
Do we? So we have heard people use an exclamation such as Ash's eyes.
Oh, that's probably what I'm thinking of.
It's also not an easy word to search. Like it's
No,
better
yeah,
here than in Mistborn.
it's come up a couple times as with various Ash. It looks like mostly Ash's eyes is where we've seen it up to now. So
Yeah, that's
So
probably
this
what I'm
is
thinking
Ash.
of.
This is Ash, whose eyes we keep hearing about. This is the guy with the eyes.
yeah, we'll finally see these eyes that everyone's been talking about. Exactly.
What's Taravangian's first name?
He tells Dalinar that he can
Vargo?
call him Vargo. That's what they called him in his
Vargo,
youth. I don't know
yeah.
that that's actually his first name. Hold on, now I gotta look this up.
It's like Vigo the Carpathian.
That's my cat's name.
Vargo Taravangian. What a name. Vargo Vangi.
What a guy.
Yeah, the wiki just has his name as Taravangian, so maybe it's like a one name sort of thing.
Oh, he's like Prince
I thought you meant, is he a prince? I'm like, no, he's a king. But yeah, no, maybe he's like Prince. Yeah.
or Cher.
I was gonna start also, but we could go down the one name list and try to one up each other all day, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna move away from that.
It's like interesting, just like, this list, the list of prospective characters. We start with the Knights Radiant, and then someone we've never heard of before. Okay,
Right?
it's like I'm sure there are other characters on this list, and probably other characters that we know and have been inside their heads. But this person Ash got billing above all the rest.
I wonder. I've never actually paid much attention to what the order, what if anything, the order means. Is it the order that we see the perspectives come up in for the first time? Is it this one has the most, and then it goes down to the least page count, or I have no idea. Sorry, to continue, there's a fairly lengthy list here. The third one is Navani again, so
Yeah, see, Ash got billing above Navani. Fuck.
and then Adolin, and then Taravangian,
Yeah, I kind of expected that one.
and then Yanagon, or Gox,
Gorks?
as we know. Yeah,
Oh, we get to see inside Gorks' head.
I know, right? That'll be fun.
Oh man, I hope this isn't all. I love Lift. Lift is so amazing. I wish Lift would notice me and not just steal my food.
That would be unexpected, honestly. I could see it. Yeah,
I mean, she brought him back from the dead. I wouldn't be surprised if he has attachment issues.
that's fair. Yeah, I could see that. After that, Polona, who that's an interesting choice,
Of all people, okay.
right? And then Vyre, Vyre, which is not a name that we have heard before.
Okay, yeah. What makes these people like chapters and not interludes? What are the rules?
And then the last one should be no surprise to anyone is Wit.
Okay, that makes sense from the last two books. But who could he be hanging out waiting for?
Fair point. We have no idea.
I assume he's gonna be hanging out waiting for someone. That is what he tends to do in those chapters.
Yeah, we always find him like hanging out, waiting for somebody giving a speech about something esoteric.
And it's normally someone we think is dead or gone. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So he's gonna be hanging out, like waiting, like giving a speech about blah blah blah, and then a character who we think is dead is gonna pop out. It's gonna be Evie, let's say.
Well, and also of interest, like, do you guys remember where we last saw Wit? Not that he ever shows up where we last saw him in the epilogues, but in this case,
He was in Kolinar.
he was in Kolinar when Kolinar fell. So, what does that mean for some random dude? Who knows?
Oh, maybe he's BFFs with Scar and Drahe now.
Could be. Yeah, they were left behind too.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's all of our perspectives. That's the names for the next 3 chapters we're reading. Predicaments. What do you guys think? We're moving into part 5, the final part. And we, as Joe pointed out, we have about 15% left. It's actually more like the epilogue ends at 98% of the way through the book, and we're at 85 now, so that's actually like 13% left. So yeah, we don't have all that long to go, although there are some very long chapters. There are 2 episodes in part 5 where we read 1 chapter for the episode, is how I have it organized right now. That might change, but right now.
Is that a first?
That will be, yes. It's been one of my unspoken rules before now that we always read at least 2 chapters. But one of these chapters is longer than either than Sixth of the Dusk or Shadows for Silence.
Holy shit.
Wow.
All by itself. So we can only read 1 chapter. And then the next one is another one. The very next episode I have set up as 1 chapter, and it's about half the length of that one. But I can't fit it in with any other chapters, so that will maybe be just a real short episode. I don't know. either that'll be a real
Okay.
short episode, or I'll have to combine it and make an even longer section than that previous section for the final episode of the book. And I haven't decided 100% which way we'll go. But so yeah, that's what we're looking at. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 episodes left in this book as I have them outlined currently.
Jesus,
13%.
5 episodes, and how many perspective characters did we just list off?
Yep.
Like, nearly double that.
So lots of interesting possibilities you can try to predict. What do you guys think? What's going to happen? Where are we going? How are things going to turn out?
I feel like that thing you just said is not true because I don't know what's going on. I could predict lots of things, but it wouldn't have any like merit to it. I mean, I assume the characters are all going to converge back on Thelena. That's where they're on the other side in the Shadesmar. How they're going to sneak past all these enemy spren to get there, I don't know. But I feel like that's got to be the point, right? Because we've got Parshendi getting ready to and the Fuse getting ready to attack with these assault boats. We've got kind of which I think Taravangian's play couldn't come at a worse time, right? It's like he's trying to overthrow Dalinar at the point where they're about to be invaded. Like, I don't think even for Taravangian's plans that makes a ton of sense. So I don't really get why this is happening now when all this stuff's about to go down. But I feel like it's going to backfire on Taravangian, as it should, right? So like,
as it should.
Yeah, as it should. So I feel like Dalinar is going to be able to rally the people back. You know, is this truly an Empire Strikes Back book? Are the Parshendi going to win at the end of this, and then all of our heroes are going to end up like in prison or something, or in camps or something, you know, wild like that? That these are all possibilities. So I don't really have a good basis for a lot of what I'm saying, except for, you know, what we know so far could lead to a myriad of possibilities. So let's just throw a Hail Mary pass here and say that I'm going to say that the Parshendi win at the end of this book, and all of our heroes are either in prison or under the influence of odium, and Dalinar is going to have to tap into some dark odium power, because that's, I feel like, where they're leaning us towards. And then we're going to be like, oh no, Dalinar, what's he going to do? And then like the Blackthorn is working for the Parshendi. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I really don't know. It's wild.
That is a fascinating idea that we're gonna. Before I get into that, I like, given where we end part 4, it totally seems like we could be setting up for an Empire Strikes Back, right? So
yeah,
I could totally see that. But the idea that like Dalinar turns, that's crazy. That could be really interesting.
Maybe against his will a little bit, but he has to tap into something that he doesn't want to in order to do something virtuous, and then it gets turned on him because of odium. That could, that'd be wild, but I could see it happening. And then it's like you wanted the Blackthorn, here he is. It's like, oh no,
wanted the Blackthorn, well, you got him, bitches.
Yeah. You called down the thunder, and now you got it.
And then he like gets to punch Amaram.
Oh, right in the nose, right in the schnoz.
Everybody wins. Well, except all the good guys, I guess. But man, does that,
except Amaram?
I was about to say, does that mean Amaram is he's on our side? Is he a good guy?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Just because you are a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Does it work the other way around? Just because you're a good guy doesn't mean that you're a good guy.
Vegeta.
Kelsier.
Vegeta. That was the worst nap I've ever done, actually.
That was. I was like, where are you?
Yeah, seriously.
Who are you?
Vegeta.
Vegeta. Yeah, I'm not good either.
God damn it, Nappa.
Oh yeah, good old goddamn it, Nappa.
Okay.
DBZA impressions.
Yeah, they recently just started a Sailor Moon abridged.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I never watched Sailor Moon, but I will watch Team 4-Star.
My wife loved Sailor Moon as a kid, so she was very interested when Joe texted me, and I was like, "Oh, you gotta see this." I feel like Dalinar turns bad guy at the end of the book may be on par with Volcano Theory, and I kind of love it.
I mean, not against, kind of against his will, but
yeah, no, I get it. But
I feel like it's
the end
what's
result is
yeah, I feel like it's what we postulate is happening with Sazed, right? There's this influence on him that's like going to inevitably lead him to act out of character.
I mean, yeah. I mean, all the memories and stuff that he's been getting back have been like kind of got him on a trajectory that is not great. So I could see it ending badly. Yeah. Oof, man, that's good. Actually, that's terrifying because the other side is strong enough without having fucking the Blackthorn.
I've got a few theories this week. One of them, I've sort of taken like Joe's idea of like the Blackthorn coming back, but it goes sort of in a different way. Where I think we're building to for this, when it's going to come to this fight, Venli will be named as Odium's champion, and so her on Dalinar. I don't know how the Unmade figure into this, but whatever. Venli gets named as Odium's champion, goes up against Dalinar, but because she met Dalinar in that vision, it just gives her just that enough doubt, and she thinks of her sister Aveshanai, and that she refuses to fight or she throws the fight. But Dalinar doesn't know that's happening, so he like just finally gives in to his dark urges, and the Blackthorn comes back and he kills Venli. So at the end of it, they win the Odium fight, but the Blackthorn is back, and so like, what cost is this victory? The Blackthorn is back, and Aleth Roshar is not united. Dalinar has failed to unite them. So maybe that's where we're going. That's the big one I have. A couple of little ones. I think that Amaram's man stole the Honor Blade from Bridge 4.
Okay.
Because we know Amaram was after them. That was his whole thing. I don't know what he intends to do with it, but I reckon he's had people spying on. It was either Amaram or Taravangian, but I feel like Taravangian's a bit obvious for this one, and he has not once mentioned the Honor Blades when we've bumped into him, where he's been all about trying to undo Dalinar. So I think this was Amaram.
And how would either of them have known about the Bridgeman having the Honor Blade?
I have no fucking idea.
Oh, fair, okay. We also know that, or I think that we know, Amaram took Talon at the end of the last book.
Yeah, Amaram's got Talon, so
maybe that
maybe Tal can
into it.
Maybe Talon can sense his blade.
Oh no, that's not Talon's blade. They had Yezrian's blade, the one that Seth used to use.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry. Wit swapped out Talon's blade. All right, never mind. Okay, and then the last one I had. So there's a whole lot of talk this section about what's right and wrong, because of what we're doing, because of what humanity is, where they came from, and what they've done to the Pash already. So I think that on humanity's side, there's going to be a very surprise MVP to like the Shardbearer conflict. Do we deserve to hold shards, and what is right and what is wrong? And that's going to be Seth.
Oh,
because he's learning all about that now, and he's like the Herald is like, I was wrong, and so the Herald is learning about what was wrong. Seth is taking these lessons on board. So maybe the assassin in white shows up with a new shard blade, and he's like the personification of law, whatever Nail's order is. So Seth will be the one. Just like we do what is right as best we can, or however he wants to phrase it. But yeah, like he's going to be the one that says, no, it is right to bear these because I bear one, or something. I'm not smart enough to come up with the wording for this on the spot, but you see what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Well, and that actually brings up at least an important question that I was going to ask you guys. We saw Seth go off with Nail. Do we think that he is going to factor in a big way into the finale here? And it sounds like you think that probably yes.
Maybe like once the conflict is tied up, like I'm I don't want to say I'm fairly confident, but like I'm feeling pretty good about this Venli and Dalinar idea that I've had, where Dalinar like goes full Blackthorn, and like it looks like everything's going downhill, and then Seth comes down as a Knight Radiant to unite them. Like he does the uniting instead, and it's like, oh, like Gavilar was talking to Seth when he said unite them or something. Maybe I don't know. I know Gavilar didn't actually say that, but just an unlikely source. Like after the conflict, everyone's not sure what to do, and then Seth comes down, a messenger from the gods, from the heralds, says, "I know the way." Enough people would probably be swayed by that. I can't imagine Kaladin would be, for instance. I don't know how Kaladin's and that group are gonna figure into the climax, but Seth comes out of the sky saying, "I know what is right." Kaladin's gonna be like, "The fuck you do."
Yeah, they didn't part on the best of terms, those two. So
Calder's going to go full Jafar and like, how many times do I have to kill you?
But your idea about Dalinar is maybe even a little more nuanced than Joe's theory here, and how Pyrrhic of a victory is that? Where it's like we win the battle, but at what cost? Like, that's still scary.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
let's see
Like,
this.
I don't think we're coming out of this book with everything going to be, looking up. I know there's like 7 books after this where, there's obviously going to be more conflict to come, but so it's not going to be a sunshine and rainbows ending. But I'm just like, I feel like this one's going to have a bleak one.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we've. Hold on, have we had a book? I guess maybe the end of Well of Ascension is kind of bleak, but they win the battle at least. Have we ever had a book that ends, one of Brandon's books that ends just in a real bleak way?
On a real downer.
Yeah.
Shadows itself.
That's true. Once again, we win the day there, but at what cost? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there was really nothing looking up at the end of that book aside from murders stopped.
Yeah. It's like murder stopped. We're not going to be overthrowing the government today and descending into chaos. But yeah, how bad was it for freaking Wax?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that's also one of the first moments that we're just like Steris gets in there and like comforts him and stuff. And you're like, you know what? Steris is pretty cool. But
That's true.
That's not a huge upside to the end of that book. It's just a little note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So, and that was book 2 of those 4 books. So this is book 3 of 5 so far. Maybe it's time for another downer ending. Yeah. Although, if part 4 ends in the downer way that we just saw, and then it just slides even further downhill at the end of part 5, that's a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll end that there. Let's do an email or 2 here, and then we'll wrap it up real quick. We actually haven't gotten anything new since last time, so we got a couple that we need to save for later. Okay, so we've got emails from Zach, a couple of emails from Zach, and we'll go over those real quick here. So the title of this email is Low Priority Fan Mail. Well, Zach, we made it down to you. The low priority. It's not true. His is just pretty much the most recent at this point. Hello, D's and J's. It's Zach again, and this time I'm going to use proper grammar. I don't have a specific reason for sending an email at this time, but first, I've done the Radiant quiz a few times, and I get different answers based on my mood, I guess. It's a really hard quiz, to be honest with, which we will get there soon. We're going to do it at the end of this book, so we are approaching that point. I don't know if we'll have a whole special episode for it or what, but that might be a fun break. Secondly, maybe you could have listeners interested in being a Radiant Metalborn write into the podcast and tell you what the first oath means to them and assign radiance based on the meaning of the oath. That's an interesting thought. It's a little prosaic. I don't know. Example, to me, it's a reminder to slow down and live life instead of focusing on winning life. And I feel like it makes me one of the non-combative types. Admittedly, it would be a strain on the cast, but I think that it could be a cool way that would let you assign radiant powers without a lot of background work. Thirdly, but most importantly, how's everybody doing lately? With rapt attention, Zach the Mastermind. So, yeah, that's an interesting thought. We still haven't really sat down and thought about if we'll do radiant orders for people and how that would come about. So I'm going to keep that in mind when we get down to that discussion. But how's everybody doing? Zach wants to know.
Busy. Life is fucking busy.
Yeah. I'm thankful for you guys getting to be able to do this show. I know it's hard for us to sit down sometimes every week, but I feel like we're a pretty consistent group, and so I'm thankful for you guys. Because we live busy lives. We've got jobs and kids and all sorts of stuff. So thanks for all you guys listening, and I'm appreciative of all the other members of our podcast team here, because we got a lot of stuff going on. So it's fun to be able to sit down and do this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, things are crazy at the moment. We're recording this for me and Joe, obviously not for the Australians, but this is the weekend after Thanksgiving, so the week has been busy, and I'm preparing next week to leave for the convention. So yeah, we're just in the middle of craziness. So things are crazy. Zach sent in a second email that says, I don't know if anyone's seen this, but it's the closest we have to an official list. It's from the second era book of the Mistborn adventure game. So there is a list that was in the book of the name of every combination Allomancer, Ferrochemist. So every Twinborn name.
Huh.
Every Twinborn combination gets a name here.
That would be useful.
So yeah, I mean, I can share with you guys the pictures. Obviously, it's a long list. We don't want to read down the whole thing, but we know that Steel and Iron Wax was called a Crasher. And according to this list, let me see if we've got Wayne on here. Gold and Gold is called Timeless. That's not Wayne. That would be
Miles.
Yeah. Timeless is kind of a cool name. Wayne was...
Wasn't he a skimmer?
Bendeloy. No, Skimmer. Skimmer is just the ferrochemical name for what Wax could do.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Wayne was Bendeloy and Gold, which is
Yeah.
a constant, according to this. Seemingly unaffected by time or age.
Yeah. Now his Mistborn power is called Slider. Maybe that's what you were thinking of.
Oh, yeah, Slider
be.
is the Mistborn power, yeah. Let's see. Any other interesting ones in here? I don't know. Bendeloy and Bendeloy is called Ascetic Lone... Oh, no, it's called Sated. And they're listed as Ascetic Loners. I'm just going to scroll through real quick and see if there's any other interest. Electrum and Iron is called Whim Flitter. What the hell is it? Prone to change plans.
No, just forget it. I don't want to hear the
Oh my
rest of these.
Yeah, Wimflitter killed it.
Oh, no, hold on. Zinc and Chromium is called a High Roller. Turns everything into high-stakes gambling.
Okay, well, that might be fun.
Yeah.
No, that's not
Anyway,
bad.
I won't go into any more of those, but I got the whole list. If you guys are curious, I will share it with you. But
You say list, you need like an Excel spreadsheet to keep track
I know,
of this.
right? But thanks, Zach. I actually don't have any of those Mistborn adventure books. I pledged for the new Cosmere RPG that's coming out, but I never, because I didn't have anyone that I would have played that with, so I didn't ever pick those up. So it's interesting to see. Thanks. What else do we need to hit on?
Actually, I will say one thing that might be of interest in the how is everyone doing. Next weekend, while Data's at the con, I will be going up to Sydney for in-person D&D finale session with my D&D group.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And this is like the DM has made it clear. It's like we have spent 4 years on this story, and this is the finale of this story. Once it's done, when like it's not like next year we'll play with the same characters again or anything like that. No, this is it. This is the end. So I am emotionally steeling myself for that.
They're all gonna die.
I hope
I was
not, but
about to say that'd be a bit of a bummer finale to like a 4-year campaign. Is like, yeah, all your characters died. Sorry.
yeah.
That is actually mostly how the first big campaign that I ever DM'd went with some of our friends, where the big final boss battle did not go super well for them, and most of them died. One of them, before the battle started, had kind of moved into a different room, and mostly just didn't get involved in the battle, and after everyone was dead, was like, okay, I guess I'm leaving. So somebody survived, but...
That's
Wow.
that's messed up.
That's bleak.
Things didn't turn out well for them. It was unfortunate.
Remember when Poet got eaten by a cat?
Intentionally,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, he well, he got killed by a mind flayer, and then we used this thing to save him, and he's like, I don't really want to play this character now, though. And I was like,
So then, yeah,
okay,
suicided.
so what do you want to do? He's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I can just have this cat eat you, I guess. He's like, yeah, okay.
That sounds like Poet.
Yeah. No new patrons this week, so if you'd like to send us an email, like Zach did, the address is thesanderlanch@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and Patreon, where my reactions to the first time reading Isles of the Emberdark are continuing to go up. I have progressed in my actual reading of the book. I'm up to, where am I? 82% of the way through. I'm really going to try to push and get it finished before I leave for the convention so I don't get spoiled on anything. So I'm going to try to record that last few episodes tomorrow or something. So if you want to hear my reactions to that, check out our Patreon. And if you join our Patreon, Joe will assign you a faring power. If you want to leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast you listen to, whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, not whatever podcast you listen to platforms on. That's not a thing. That is a thing. Send us a screenshot of your 5-star review, and Joe will jump you into the misting crew and assign you a misting power. I was tempted to be like, hey, find me at the convention, but by the time this episode comes out, the convention will be over, and I will be home again. So if you were there last week, find me then at the convention. And I have pins that I'm going to be trading as part of the World Swappers campaign, which we are a sponsor for, or at this point were a sponsor for. So check that out if you have a time machine. I should have mentioned it last week. I did not. But thank you guys. Patrons, you're awesome. People on our Discord, if you want to join the Discord, there's a link at our website, www.thesanderlanch.com. Thank you to everyone who shows up every week and listens to us discuss these books. I love having this to do every week. I'm going to be a little down that, we're missing several weeks, but I think I'll keep busy, so that'll help. But we appreciate all of you. Remember, we are doing 3 chapters for next time. So if you're reading along, that's chapters 114, 115, and 116. 3 chapters for next time. Music by Miracle of Sound. And Wussing to the Time of Next. Colo? P.S. Fasher. Crabs ahoy!
Supernovas die, fractured in the fateful fall of man. Feel the heart raging of a strength unseen. Unity will bring the upper hand. So look to the break of dawn, to the break of dawn.